I bought some onion sets at Home Depot, and I'm just going to pot them in these gallon-sized containers and not worry about them till spring, and let them grow in the sunroom, and they'll start activating. It'll be easier when I separate them. So that's what I'm doing today, doing some potting. I like to get these early before Home Depot or Lowe's set them outside in the sun, because they dry up so easy. These were inside, and I got 2 white onions and 2 bunches of red onions. And I like that they're not dried out, and I want to get them early. I got them all potted now. I just have to water them. And I like to keep these ties. They do come in handy. But I got some onions outside that's doing good, so I'm going to pot them too this spring, and I'll have lots of onions. I'll just water them in. This pot was a good place to put them. Now they'll be all set to grow in the sunroom. Water some of that. The other day I made some stew, and I had some celery, and I cut that bottom off and put it in water. So I'm going to plant it and pull away some of this stuff and pot it and grow me a celery. This plant here, I brought it outside so I can give it a good washing. It's got aphids on it, and I washed it before, but the aphids keep coming back. So I plan on doing an experiment with it. I'll give it a good washing, bring it back in the sunroom, and I'm going to try to put some lemongrass on it. I got some I cut up dry lemongrass for a mulch, and I'm going to put some citronella plant. I have it. I'm going to put that on it and just see what it does to the aphids, or if it makes any difference at all. Bill made me up a bunch of little stakes for my plants, so I'm going to use them for my tomatoes. Stake them up. Here's one of the tomatoes. Kind of got long and stringy, and I want to get it back up. It's got some tomatoes on it. I want to get it standing back up, and maybe cut the tips out of it, make it a little thicker. So I got a few of these tomato plants to do. I keep these and try to use them the next year. I like to save them, instead of always buying a row of them. And they come in so handy. I got it tied up, and I was thinking about cutting this top off, because I want it, you know, stay short, just thicken up, but it's growing tomatoes on it, so I'm just going to leave it for now. I might cut it back later. I've been eating cherry tomatoes in here this morning. I got some more tomatoes I got to stake up. This is my first one. I'm going to tie this cherry tomato up too. It did have about 5 ripe cherry tomatoes, and I had to eat them. But that's how it goes in the sunroom. If you see something ripe, you got to eat it. And it is blooming out right there. So I'm going to get this one tied up. I like this plant because it's a little thicker, and I still might pinch some of this off to try to keep it short. And there is I didn't think there was any more tomatoes, but there's a new tomato there. So I'm happy about that. It's got lots of blooms on it. And I'm glad to get this staked up. This is going to be my experiment. I got some lemongrass in there. And here's some citronella, or whatever it's called. And this really smells good. I love this in the sunroom. I'm going to put this plant, I forgot what it was called. I'm going to put some of it in the pot. And that long vine over there, it never get no bugs on it. I'm going to cut some of that vine and put that in the pot. So, I want to see all these plants that don't get bugs on them. And see how this ends up. So I don't have to spray it, soap it, or nothing. And if it don't work, it don't work. I'm just going to gather house plants that don't get bugs on them and just pack this full and see what happens. It might not work. I did try to wash everything off underneath here, and there's still bugs on it. And I will be setting this all by itself so it don't touch nothing. And I don't want it to touch my coat. So this is going to be an experiment to see what it does with these bugs. It probably won't work, but I'm going to try it. I got this all covered up with plants that bugs don't get on. And we'll see how they like it. If they'll live or take off. I got it fixed where this is not hitting no other plant. So if it starts dying out, I'll take it outside. This way it kind of gives it a chance to do something without using poison. So I'm going to try it and see. One thing about having a lot of plants in here, if this one is the sacrifice plant, then that's how it's got to be. So I'll keep an eye on it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.